Welcome back to the Pesky Report, brought to you by Beyond the Monster. It's episode 473, and this is totally the first time that we clicked record tonight. It's me, Matthew Cora, your host tonight. We got Sleepy Kev with us. It's a two-man show, and
What's going on?
welcome to the Ump Show, everybody. Welcome to the
Welcome
Ump
to the
Show.
Ump Show. Welcome to the Ump Show. Welcome to the Christian Campbell taking reps at first. Welcome to 2 or 3 from the Mets, which not a lot of people were optimistic going into the series. Welcome to Steve Peralt, catching that home run ball. What was that? The previous series?
Previous series, yep.
Yeah, not throwing it back. Good for him. I would have done the
Good.
same. Are you a throw it back guy?
No way.
No,
No
you
way.
gotta keep that. You
I'm not
gotta
getting
keep
banned from the ballpark either. Like, they brought up a great
Well,
point on the
yeah.
podcast. Like, you get
Yeah.
thrown out. I'm not going to do that. First
No,
inning.
I'm not doing that.
Those
No.
Green Monster tickets are $200. More than that.
Yeah. Oh,
No.
if I'm sitting on the monster first off, if I'm sitting anywhere, I'm keeping the fucking ball. Like, I know
Yeah.
there's some, listen, there's true bloods, there's diehards out there, right? Like, and I'm not talking at Fenway. I'm talking just in general around the league. I think it's like the Cubs, Wrigley, like they throw back like
Yeah.
every visitor. But you see it all the time on Sports Center or ESPN or whatever. Someone catches a home run ball and they're like, throw it back, throw it back. And I'm not throwing it back. No shot. I'm putting that in the pocket.
Yeah. Yeah. Peer pressure is a deadly thing, and
It is. It
it
is.
was very funny to see the guy immediately on the next batter who caught the home run ball throw that ball back and then promptly get ejected from the ball game.
Right
Um,
from the ball game.
yeah.
Right from the ball
Yeah.
game.
I care, like, I care more about, I mean, let's just say we're losing 15-0 and it's the seventh
Yeah.
inning and they hit a home run off of their position player we have pitching. Yeah. All right. Throw me out.
Yeah.
I'll throw it back.
Throw 'em, yeah. Yeah, I'll throw it
Maybe,
back.
maybe in that situation,
Yeah,
but
they would
probably
have to
not.
be getting right. But
Yeah. I'm
anyways,
just too much of like a hoarder. I'm a collector, I don't want to just throw
well,
away
so
that chance.
dude, we just went through a move. My family, my wife and my daughter, we just went through a move and having to throw
Mhm.
out some stuff. Like I'm talking like old newspaper clippings of like my baseball career or like football career. And I was like, I think I want to
Mm.
hold. And my wife's like, put it in the freaking trash. Like, do not keep this shit in the move.
Oh, dude, you should have kept it.
I
You should
know.
have kept it. What were you thinking?
I know. The glory days, bro. I don't want to
I
be Al
mean,
Bundy, dude. I
no, and
can't
it's
Al
not like,
Bundy it.
see, that's the thing is like, and your wife wouldn't appreciate this until you put it in perspective. Someday, your daughter's kids
That's
will
right.
want to be like, wow, look at this. These are pictures of grandpa when he was a young kid.
I kept all right, so I minor, not a lie, but like half truth. I did keep the important ones. So like
Okay.
I'm old enough that my high school actually faced Rick Porcello his senior year.
Really?
Yeah, so I just gave away my age. Hopefully I don't sound that old.
Well,
But
you're Boomer Kev. We already knew that.
yeah, well that is true. That is true. But yeah, so I kept the important ones, and then I kept obviously all like, accolades, trophies, things like that. So hopefully my daughter's children one day, God willing, will be like, what did Boomer Kev do? What was Boomer Pop Pop like?
Yes.
What was he
Yeah,
like?
they'll pull these recordings up and they'll say,
Oh,
"Yeah,
they'll pull
while
these
you were
recordings and
sleeping."
see that I was a 270 high school baseball hitter. They're gonna be like, "Oh, he's talking baseball. He seems knowledgeable." Yeah, no, it's all
Did you ever
facade.
hit a home run?
No, I was small.
I never hit a home run. Never. Not in any
I
league.
was I didn't play little league. I was my grandparents were on both sides of my family were big golfers. So I played a
Mm.
lot of golf, and I'm gonna sound like an asshole, but I spent a lot of summers at the country club. Not that we came from money or anything, um but yeah, dude, in high school, we were facing a kid, local kid. He wound up going to Vanderbilt. I believe his name was Shane Brennan. He was a really good pitcher. Lefty, threw nasty shit. And just because of his velocity coming in at, 91, 92, 93, he was hitting at 17 years old as a lefty is pretty nuts. But I could hold a one and I thought it was out. And it was like 10, 15 feet short. But it was only because of how hard he was throwing. Like, everybody else threw, like, 70s, maybe 80s, you could kinda tee off on it, but, like,
Yeah.
you would get no oomph behind the ball. But some guy comes in throwing 90, and all of a sudden you get the barrel on it, and you're kinda like, "Alright, that ball's going a little farther."
The closest I ever came was, and this is crazy because, um, like little league, never hit a home run. Just I was a good player, but never
Yeah.
never was a power guy. I don't know. My swing was flat. I think. Like thinking back
Mm.
on it, I think I had a flat swing. But in middle school, we made it to the state championship, and I was the number 5 hitter on that lineup. And I was in 8th grade, and I hit a ball to dead center field that I feel like would have been gone. Now, maybe this is just misremembering, but what I know is that for whatever reason, they didn't have a fence set up because it was too windy at the field,
Oh.
and so there was no center field fence. It just kept rolling,
So
and
you
basically it was this baseball field combined with, like I can't remember if it was another baseball field facing the other direction
Yeah,
or
yeah,
if it
yeah,
was
yeah.
like a soccer field or something. So, literally, I got a triple on it, and the ball, like,
Oh, you
flew out there, but
Matt, you gotta leg that out, bro. You gotta get on your horse. That was your one, dude.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That
That was my
that's your
chance,
one.
man. You know
Ah,
what's the worst part about that game? We were winning, and then, our guy that we put into pitch to close the game out walked, the bases loaded, walked the tying and winning runs in, and we lost.
oh, he's
Walk
done,
off.
dude.
Yeah.
I hope you exiled him, like, from the fucking lunch table and everything. You're
Yeah.
done, dude.
Yeah,
He wa so
his
he
name was
walked.
Cooper. So, Cooper the
Oh,
Pooper
dude.
Scooper, you know?
Yeah, yeah, he got grilled. He got grilled going forward. Well,
Yeah.
listen, big players, in big moments make big plays, and Cooper wasn't one of them.
No,
He didn't have it.
he did not have it. He had
As
the
the
yips.
kids Yeah, as the kids would say, he didn't have that dog in him, you know?
He definitely did not.
This
Although I
poor
will
fucking
say that,
guy.
he did basically pull a Bernardino from the other night.
Yes, yes.
Um, that was
Just walk in
embarrassing.
everyone. Just walk
Yeah.
in everybody. Is there a
Yeah,
problem
well,
with Bernardina? Like, is there
yeah, they need to
what's the
send
deal?
him and exile him to Worcester in exchange for Luis Guerrero, um,
Yes,
immediately.
immediately. I agree. Um, yeah, I think, what's weird with a guy like Bernardino is you send him down. And he doesn't I don't know. I don't know how that affects like a professional baseball player. But it seems like when he goes down, like he did last year, and then comes back up, he pitches well. So, like, he goes down
Yeah.
to Worcester, right? And he figures out whatever he's gotta figure out. It doesn't seem like he has much of an ego about it. It doesn't seem like, he's got any ill will or whatever. He works on what he's gotta work on. He comes back up, and he pitches fucking well. So, I mean, if that gets listen, Luis has gotta be back in that pen. I mean,
Yeah,
in my
they need
opinion.
him.
They I
I
mean,
say this
and the
every
lefty
other week.
situation in the pen is interesting too. Just it's so lefty heavy.
Well, Justin Wilson's been nasty, right? So,
Yeah, Justin Wilson has been nasty.
we got that.
He's been throwing some nasty shit.
Um,
But
what did Bernardino do today? He came in, uh, gave up all of Liam Hendricks's inherited runners,
yes, correct.
uh, walked a guy as well, and somehow he still has a 1.35 ERA on the year. So I
Yeah,
understand why they don't wanna just drop him back down, you know?
Well, I think they know his stuff is there. It's just for whatever reason right now it's not there. Yeah, so inning pitch, hit, a walk, and yeah, 1.35. Hold on, let me see if I'm just grabbing it. I just want to see what his whip is real quick.
It's just crazy because like Hendricks pitched, he came in after Crochet, shut the inning down,
He's
and
got a
then
one whip, exactly. Sorry.
Hendricks came back out and couldn't record an out in the next
I,
inning.
yeah, it stinks, man, because it feels like with all the drama surrounding this team and the constant, we've talked about it, just the 500 narrative, like the 500
Hmm.
narrative, like a sweep tonight would have, I just feel like would have meant so much. And I know listen, 2 out of 3 against a really, really good New York Mets team. Obviously Kodai Senga pitching the other night, and he's fun to watch.
Yeah.
I have no problem admitting that. He's got some filthy shit. So you take 2 out of 3 from the Mets, but if you sweep, a little bit of the drama goes away. A little bit of
100%.
I think what was it? Devers in the walk off and Breslow in the clubhouse, like going up to him and congratulating him or something like that. Um,
Well, that was the last series, but yes.
yes, last I know I keep reverting to last series, but the point I'm trying to get at is I feel like a lot of the drama at what they would be 26 and 25, right? I feel like that feels wait, right? Or am I wrong on that?
The last win that we just had brought us back to 500, so now we're
Brought
back
us back
a
to
game under.
500. Yes. Okay. So yeah, I just feel like the 500 Sox. Um, I don't know. Maybe go on a little bit of a run here. We'll see.
Yeah, a couple of things that stood out to me in this was the bullpen in the first two games, right? Um, this is a big week for the Cora haters, the fire Alex Cora narrative,
Yeah.
because we had the
Yeah.
bench coach Ramon Vasquez stepping in, delivers a victory on Monday because Alex Cora rightfully was celebrating his daughter's graduation and
Yes.
had the game off. Totally
I
fair.
don't. Um. Yeah, I don't understand the core haters coming after. I could get an in-game managerial decision. I can even get maybe a comment at a post-game or pre-game presser, but to be at your daughter's graduation and know that and still kind of come at him, which is, by the way, a big reason why he's still in this this area,
Yeah.
mind you. Yeah, for them to come at him for that, I thought was just that was a little low in
Talk
my
radio
book.
is at an all-time low. That's
Uh,
like,
it it it's embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. And I'm not saying like what uh, I give a lot of credit to anyone who's willing to put out Sox content, right? And especially in the podcast sphere and the Red Sox Twitter sphere, like it takes a lot. However, these guys who are getting paid to do this, for the radio station and sports talk radio, it's embarrassing. Like the lack of knowledge, the lack of input. It's like
oh
they've
yeah.
never opened up a computer screen, never read a tweet, never even watched the game. Like I don't know how the fuck they get their jobs, but God bless them.
Well, it's also like who do you surround yourself with, right? So like if everyone
Yeah.
you ever
Yep.
talk to or listen to or like the only inputs you have are a certain opinion, then you're going to just keep regurgitating the same thing and then maybe you formulate your own opinion based on that, but like you need to,
It,
I don't know, it's just it's
there's no
bizarre.
original thought. Yeah, there's no original the idea of original thought has just completely gone out the window unless the original thought is something negative, right? Like it's very rare that there's an original thought from these guys and it's something positive. Um,
That I can
so,
agree with.
so that stigma, right, of if you're just regurgitating the same negativity over and over again, yeah, I don't know. It's just bullshit.
Speaking of negativity, I want to get to the first two games of wins. There's some
Yeah,
great stuff to call out in that, but
let's do
there's
it.
some quotes here. Chris Cotillo just posted these, and these are quotes from Liam Hendriks confirming his frustrations with the Red Sox. This was earlier today with Alex Spear. He said, "quote," and I'll do my best Australian accent. There was a couple games where it was like I was the last guy in the bullpen, and it's a new experience for me. I felt like I'd been pitching well enough to get trusted in a couple of those situations, and it didn't come to fruition. We had a couple of chats. I got in there today, and it didn't quite work out. So what he's saying there is, because
Hold
I
on,
can
wait,
interpret
wait, whoa.
Australian.
We're not gonna skip over. First off, that was fucking good. Was first off, I was shocked at how good it was at first. Like it's something that you've practiced, but yeah, we're not gonna skip over. That was Matt. That was fucking awesome. That was a great fucking. That was a fantastic Australian accent.
Well, thanks, mate. Um, Yeah, so I can actually interpret that for you because I know you weren't listening to what he was
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
You were
yeah.
too
Of
distracted
course.
by the accent, which is fair, foreign
Yeah.
accents. So, what he said was there was a couple of times that he was surprised he was the last one left in the bullpen and they threw everybody else.
Yeah.
And he's like, I felt like I deserved, I could have pitched in a couple of those situations, but then you put me in today and it didn't quite work out. He then also said, quote, feel like I haven't been pitching enough. If you want me to be here, I've got to pitch. I'll rust before I wear out, and that's something. But at the end of the day, I've got to reward them for throwing me by getting guys out. If I'm not doing that, I don't deserve to pitch. So what he's saying there is he feels like, he just needs to be thrown more. And he thinks that if they throw him more often, he'll actually be better.
I,
So
I listen. I'm gonna side with him on this. I don't think he's deserved to throw more. But if you look at Liam Hendriks' career, um, he's been a part of a lot of bullpens where he was the guy and he was pitching meaningful innings and at a high rates. Granted, that's probably what led to his injury. Um, but I yeah, maybe if you trust him, and right now it's hard to say that you can trust him. If you can get him into an eighth inning role, not role, sorry, if you can get him into an eighth inning spot, and if you could trust him to get out of that eighth inning, I'd rather you try it now than fucking July or August. He's obviously voicing his concerns and where
he's
he'd
not
like
a
to be.
multi-inning guy, and I don't
No, yeah,
understand.
yeah,
Like he's done fine in his 1 inning spurts, but they're using him in this like mop up mentality, and I get it. Right, I get it. We blew through the bullpen the last two games. We got
yeah,
absolutely destroyed. I get that. So yeah, are you going to have to rely on guys a little bit more than you're normally going to have to? Yes. Is that happening today when you saw that their only options were to throw Brendan Bernardino out there couldn't record basically an out.
mhm,
Liam Hendricks, they tried to throw him for 2 innings, that didn't work out, and then they just did Sean Newcomb, right?
yeah.
You just didn't have options, and that was because of how well they managed the first two games. But um, you know they need to give Hendricks some more consistent work. And I the other day I thought that he should have come out in extra innings instead of Greg Weiser, and I
Yeah,
bet you we would have won that game if he had.
yeah.
So,
No, I agree. I mean, and you throw away another crochet start. Um,
yeah.
bona fide ace. I know he
Hmm.
went five in the third, but he's just a bona fide ace. And for whatever reason, for a Red Sox team who has yet to be shut out this year, in any game, when Crochet's on the bump, just like we see with a lot of really good pitchers and aces, he's just not getting that run support. Um,
Yeah,
and I know we're jumping far ahead, but
that's
yeah,
fine.
I
Yeah.
mean, Yeah, Crochet's he's the dude. Whopping 1.98 earn run average.
Apparently, Cora said that it was a predetermined shorter outing for Crochet today, and that it was basically a bad break that it just happened to come after 2 bullpen heavy days. But then
Mhm.
Crochet said that he wasn't aware this was the plan. So we're basically, it seems like there's a really big communication problem
Yeah. Yeah.
on the Boston Red Sox right now.
Yes. Um,
And it's a bad look.
it's a bad look. It's a bad look. We saw it exemplified with the latest Rafi drama, from the front office to Cora to Rafi.
Yeah.
Um, it just seems like whenever there's news from this clubhouse, and I agree, it is directly in correlation with some sort of miscommunication. And that's not what great teams do. Great teams operate and function as a unit. And although I think this can be a very, very good team, they got to lock it the fuck up, as I would tell my girls' youth lacrosse team that I coach. Lock it the fuck up.
Yeah. 100%. But like they got to start being more transparent with their players and being honest
Yes.
about things, right? Like Liam, we appreciate what you're doing. We don't trust you yet to go in high leverage situations. So you're going to be our last guy. Or hey Liam, we really need someone that we can put in tomorrow. So like today we're going to try everything we can not to put you in.
Yeah.
Or Rafi, we're considering signing someone else at third base. You know, just a heads up. Like,
Just a
only
heads
reason
up.
why they're a gold glover, and we think that you'd be amazing at DH. You know, these are the type of things that small communications would go a long way to eliminating these problems that we have. Hey,
Yeah.
Garrett Crochet. We are going to probably pull you a little bit earlier than normal today because we want you to be rested up. We've been working you pretty hard. Maybe tell him that before you send him
Yeah.
out there and pull him.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
seems it's a bad look.
It's 100% a bad look, and like I said, there's a weird dysfunction following. Well, I said it last episode. There's a weird dysfunction following this team right now, and we could point fingers. Like I said, we could be the Spider-Man meme and all be pointing at whether it's front office or management or players or whatever the case may be. But there is an odd dysfunction with this team, and it's really unnecessary. It's so fixable. It's so fixable. Communicate better. Communicate fucking better. Alex Bregman makes this team a really good baseball team. You could have had a really good conversation with Rafael Devers. You could have done it again when Casas got hurt, right? And now you get
Mm-hmm.
these little snippets, whether it's a guy being worked from the bullpen or a starter who doesn't know he's getting pulled a little bit early. Like we got to, like 2018 is now a long time ago. 2021 feels like a long time ago. Like lock it the fuck up.
Yeah. Well, let's switch notes a little bit here and talk about some positives from the series because there were some positives, and
Yep.
that was game one, game two, um, really showing what I think this team is capable of. I think like we weren't expecting. I wasn't really expecting to win maybe one of three of these games, if not just getting
Yeah.
swept. Like I had that vibe. But game one, we're going against Kodai Senga, and I just was like, this is not going to go well. But at the same time, it was a Hunter Dobbins start. Hunter Dobbins has been great,
Mhm.
and we're getting only 4.2 innings out of him, right? Only one walk, but only two strikeouts. He only gave up one run, 5 hits, but they pulled him, and it was only at 80 pitches, I want to say. Let me double check that.
Um,
No, 66 pitches.
66 pitches. Yeah.
I understand that they feel that his stuff deteriorates a little bit as the game goes on, and they were really trying to like preserve the lead, but they pulled him at 4 1/3 innings at one run ball with 66 pitches. It was aggressive.
It
It was
it's
aggressive.
very aggressive, and, that to me feels like it might have been an analytic decision, right? Like,
Mm,
someone gets in someone's ear and says, "Hey, by the way, uh, this is gonna be aggressive, but, you know, um, maybe this is the time to go and get Dobbins." I don't know what analytics would justify that. I'm just throwing it out there that it feels like an analytic decision. It feels like a Cole in game 1 at 80 pitches, and he's dealing, and in the World Series, and they pull him, and it
yeah.
was obviously analytics. Um, yeah, I'm just sick of, aside from Crochet, we just need guys that can go deep into games, like starting pitching wise. Like,
Yeah.
Bayo just cannot, you know, get us 5 innings even. And Giolito obviously in what he's got going on. It, we're gonna need someone other than Crochet. I don't even know if Walker Buehler's that guy because his stuff runs out, later in his innings. We need someone that can just eat innings. Like Giolito was so good at that in his career, 200 inning guy, and then obviously he has the injury that he has, and just hasn't been pitching well, so you can't keep throwing him out there. But we just need someone other than Crochet in the starting rotation that can fucking eat some innings.
Paul Skeens. There you go.
There you
Let's go
go.
get
I
him.
mean, it's only what was that stupid fucking TikTok? It would only cost you Anthony and Meyer and Campbell. Yeah, sure. Who hangs up
Yeah.
first?
Just the
How
big
about
three.
the how about the phone just explodes? Who hangs up first?
Yeah, that was a very dumb. Um, yeah, I mean, listen, like when it comes down to the end of the day, we do need some length from our pen, but I think Under Dobbins is capable of giving you 5 or 6 innings, right? Like it's
Yes.
just
Yeah.
this game was being managed not by Alex Cora, and it was being managed like a playoff game. And like I'll give
Yeah.
him that. It worked out. The bullpen was nails. They pulled out, Dobbins, and they brought Justin Wilson in to get that one out, and he carried that over into the next inning where he got 2 more outs. And they brought in Weissert to get the last out of that inning. Then they brought Weissert back in to get the first 2 outs of the next inning. Then they brought Slayton in. Like they did this piggybacking thing where like these guys were just finishing the person's inning, coming in fresh,
Yeah.
and then pitching most of the next inning, coming in fresh, and then Slayton, he pitched an inning and a third there. Um, and then Chapman came in and locked it down. And that was managed. I mean, you used 5 guys out of the pen, but
Yeah.
it was managed like a playoff game,
Yeah.
and
It was.
it worked out.
It worked out. And you got 3 runs, right, off Segna, which is, that'll help. Like to see a
Yep.
little bit more productivity. But listen, Kodai Segna, I said it before, very, very fun to watch, on the mound. Duran had 2 big hits, right? Double and a triple.
Double and
Um,
triple.
double and triple. Breggy with an RBI.
Underrated Devers. I'm sorry, Duran walking. What am I trying to say? Devers. Yeah, I said it right the first time.
Devers.
Devers walking twice in that game.
Well, Devers all season has been walking like a machine. Even when he was having his, historic slump to start the year, his on base was him drawing a few walks,
Hmm.
and it's, for his patience at the plate, that's, obviously that's going to be crucial, especially when you can get on base in front of, the lineup was Breggy and then Abreu, right there, and then obviously Story after them, and it's kind of hard to put Story in that category with Bregman and Abreu, but
Yeah.
you get Devers on, you get Duran on at the top of the lineup, and then you got the big guns and Bregman and Abreu.
Yep.
That's what they got to kind of do right now.
Um, Another shout out from this game is that um, Carlos Narvaez had 2 hits and a walk, bringing his batting average up to 278 on the year. OPS 789. It's the
Mm.
fourth. Oh, Yeah, fourth highest on the team. So we got Bregman is the highest OPS, then Devers, then Abreu, then Narvaez.
Then Novares.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of crazy?
Uh, it is crazy. It is crazy. Um, Narvaez has just been um, such a cool story. Just just an absolute kind of flash in the pan for this team, and it's funny because 278. Am I reading this right? Yeah, 278 was 789 OPS. You said that
Mm-hmm.
what is fourth highest on the team?
It is.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah. Duran's catching up though, and he's been heating up lately. So, let me see what his
Well,
ended after today.
I believe 268, what, 737 OPS. Um, I mean, he was an all-star last year. I believe around the same time last year he was around 250. You know what I mean? Like in that range. If he could finish off May strong and have an even better June, that makes everything better. It
Yeah.
makes everything better.
Um. Yeah. So game one, I thought that was a good game. It was clean, classic. Bunch of people contributed on the offensive side, and it was against a good pitcher, right? Game two is
Hmm.
the one I really wanted to spend some time on here. This is a victory here, 2-0 victory. We started off with Walker Buehler, and then we pitched everyone we got in this game. And this is the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because this is total ump show, absolute
Hmm.
insanity. Um,
Yeah.
it's a third inning. Walker Buehler has in the same inning drilled somebody in the back. It was see if I can find out who it was here. I can't remember. Maybe it was either Beatty, or no, it was Vientos and Francisco Lindor both hit um, by Bueller. But there's like a questionable strike call that led to a ball four. And then the next, oh, yeah, that was when Lindor got on base. Then Lindor goes to steal. Pitch goes right over the plate. This is a strike. Couldn't be more a strike. Freaking Mike Estabrook behind home plate calls it a ball. Walker Buehler gets ejected from the game, arguing balls and strikes. And I wouldn't even really say he was arguing balls and strikes as much as he was confronting Mike Estabrook, who started charging the mound, basically. And I don't know what your take on it is. I understand like why Bueller was ejected because he was warned multiple times by Estabrook, don't come any closer. Like go back that way. And he kept coming. So from that regards, I understand. But the situation was completely brought on by Mike Estabrook. It was invoked
Hmm.
by Mike Estabrook,
Hmm.
causing a scene, causing a trouble, and being soft where he did not need to be. And could Bueller have responded differently? Yeah. But am I, bothered that he did that? I think that at the end of the day, like that was a pathetic call. It was the quickest toss I've seen in a long time. Like I didn't even realize he was getting tossed and he was already out of the game. So,
Yeah.
what was your thoughts
Yeah.
on that whole situation?
The whole situation. I mean, first off, the pitch is right down the middle, right? Couldn't be clearer than down the middle. And Walker turns right after the throw down to second, and you see him mouthing. He's obviously, he's frustrated, he's angry, and he's like, "Where the fuck was that?" Right? Or "Where'd that fucking miss?" Or "What the fuck?" Or this and that. The ump is now walking past home plate, right? He's now like 5 feet past home plate, and Bueller never leaves the mound, right? So, like, the justification that I saw for the injection is that, once a position player leaves his position, right? So once Walker Bueller leaves the mound and he's arguing balls and strikes, he's then subjected to be thrown out, right? And but this is all being instigated. This is being instigated with the missed calls. It's being instigated, and then Walker turns around and he's asking, he's like, "Where the fuck did I miss?" Right? And
Yeah.
and I don't know. To me, it's the automatic replay can't come soon enough. Or the automatic the pitch com
Balls
or
and strikes. Yeah.
yeah, balls and strikes, tap in the head. It where I've seen it being used, it's very successful. And it's both utilized, on both ends, pitcher and the batter. He taps his head. Hey, listen, I think that was outside. They take a look at it. Within seconds, they have the right answer. Within
Mm-hmm.
seconds. So yeah, it's a total show. Um, and Walker is a fiery guy. Like, this about Walker Buehler on the mound. He is fiery. So
Fun fact. And this is, I just learned this tonight. The last time that and well, actually, I'll give more context here. Immediately following this, Alex Cora then got ejected, and you could see Alex
yeah,
Cora coming out and being like, "You cannot throw out give me a break. You cannot give my starting pitcher the toss after in the third
yeah,
inning. Like, come on, like, give
hmm
me a break." And he was like begging, "Throw me out instead. Throw me out and let me keep my pitcher in." Like,
yes,
he was trying to make a bargain, and then he got tossed. And as soon as he got tossed, he just lost it on him. I would love to hear what he had said in there. But the fun fact is that, do you know the last time that the Red Sox had both a pitcher and a manager ejected off the top of your head in the
Oh
same?
no, I wouldn't know.
It was Chris Sale and Alex Cora at Yankee
Okay,
Stadium,
yeah, that tracks.
and the home plate umpire was once again Mike Estabrook.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Welcome to the Ump Show.
Yeah, this was an show. Yeah, that confirms it. That completely
100%.
confirms it for me.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I mean, like I said, there's no reason for Estabrook, or however you pronounce his name, to be on the other side of home plate in that scenario. I think that's
No.
what kind of shifts it all for me. Like, you had no business being on the other side of home plate. Um,
No.
you want to chirp back and forth, and then Core coming out and saying, "Hey, by the way, toss me." You know, it's the third inning. Please toss me, right?
Hmm.
Um, and him still being like, "F you,"
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's classless,
Well,
classless.
that led to Ramon Vasquez managing again for the second day in a row, and
Yeah,
again managing the bullpen aggressively, which he had to get through that
aggressive.
game. And it led to another victory. I mean, the bullpen shut out the Mets in that game. The Walker Buehler went two in a third, and then the entire bullpen shut them down. Absolutely masterpiece from the bullpen. Um, we got an inning and two thirds. Excuse me. Inning and two thirds from Bernardino, an inning from Whitlock, .2 innings from Wilson, .2 innings from Weissert, an inning and two thirds from Slayton, and an inning from Chapman. The Slayton stuff was crazy. An inning and two thirds, and he threw 12 pitches. Like,
Yeah,
efficiency. Now, only thing concerning is that there was not a lot of strikeouts. 7 strikeouts for the staff. 4 of those came from Walker Buehler in the first 2 and a third. So after that, there was 3 strikeouts, and one of them was from Whitlock. The other 2 were from Justin Wilson in his 2 outs that he recorded.
yeah,
Um, so I mean, that was not great, but we did have the incident with the bullpen phone, which was hilarious.
yeah,
So
yes,
Alex Cora smashed the
smash the
bullpen phone in the dugout and made the cover fall off. And they ended up using that later on as part of the home run celebration. So in
yeah,
the 5th inning, Carlos Narvaez, the captain, hits a home run to left center field over the monster. And then 2 batters later, Rafael Devers hits a home run to the exact same spot, probably one person over to the right. and
Mhm.
they have him these guys in the dugout holding up the bullpen, the smashed bullpen phone case to tap. And Wally even got into it. Wally made a sign that said "Do it for the bullpen phone."
Dude, dude.
Um, so good, so good.
We got a lot of good content out of it. We got a lot of good content out of it, and you see Cora, like, when he hits it, like, I don't know, like, I always envision, like, David Ortiz with the bat, right, in Baltimore, right, at Camden Yards, just absolutely going to town, right? And when Cora kinda hits it, like, obviously, it's aggressive, but I didn't know that the whole fucking thing came off.
Yeah,
And and then, obviously, the rest is, meme and Twitter history. But yeah, no, it was, yeah, definitely brought some good laughs.
yeah. It was quite the entertaining outcome there. But I mean, that was it. Two solo homers, 2-0 ball game. Right. Uh, that was an exciting victory, an exciting win. But this goes back to what I said when we let off the show, and I said this is a big week for Alex Cora haters because Cora
Yeah,
wasn't managing the bullpen in these two games, and they won. He comes back today. Sure enough,
yeah,
they lose, right? And they lose because you brought in um, Liam Hendricks
Liam
to
Hendricks.
finish an inning and then left him in there for the next inning, right? And you can make any argument you want and say, oh, no, it was, we needed length from him, blah, 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 blah. Still, look at
Yeah,
how the bullpen was managed the last 2 days. You can't do that every day. You can't. But I mean, I'd be perfectly fine with from now on. Ramon Vasquez, you're managing the bullpen. Just but Cora can do everything else. You're just managing the bullpen. It'd be fine.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, the core haters are really gonna be in their glory. And I hate for this to be a theme that shadows this team, throughout the remainder of the season. But that's just, I mean, that comes with the business, and like I said, that comes with the frustration of a fan base of a team that's been constantly 500. So everything is going to be analyzed now. Everything is going to be analyzed. Oh, Cora wasn't in the dugout for 2 games, and the bullpen was managed a certain way, and we got wins out of those games. Will that be held over Cora's head at some point? Recently, more recent down the road? Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I think so. I think if we go into the next series with a four game series with Baltimore, and if
Hmm.
he even farts in the wrong direction, people are going to get on him. They're going to get on him.
I think that we could be seeing Marcelo Meyer very soon. I think Christian
Yes.
Campbell has been, we talked about he's been working out at first base. They're saying like, yeah, it's not going to be anytime soon that he is ready for first base because it's his first time taking reps at the position. But I mean, they could be saying that and then the next day put him out there. They already said that if it was a blowout win or a blowout loss, they're going to put him in at first base to get him some reps there in a game. So that's something to potentially look forward to. But as soon as that happens, Marcelo Myers played his sixth straight game at second base
Yeah.
today, and
Yeah.
even
A
the
lot of
MLB account's
foreshadowing.
posting about it.
A lot of foreshadowing there.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
lot of foreshadowing there. And I don't
A
know if
lot.
it's necessarily just the Campbell working out at first thing. Is it what the hell is going on with Trevor Story thing? Even though he plays on the other side of the diamond. Um I don't know. You know. What do you think
Yeah.
the likelihood is of another 2 weeks of a really bad Trevor Story? Does Trevor
High.
Story, yeah, right? Like, do we think I think that probably Trevor Story might get DFA'd. Um and then I don't know.
I could see him getting put on the injured list.
Yes. I mean, that would be the first. I agree with that. I mean, I probably jumped the gun on a DFA, but
People keep saying
but
that because they're just thinking like, oh, he's not hurt. So we can't just, stash him. But I
Yeah.
guarantee you that they want to stash him. Like, if they can make up an injury for Masataka Yoshida, they'll make up an injury for Trevor Story.
Oh yeah.
Right shoulder soreness. Today he barely could throw the ball to first base in time, caused the runner to be safe, I think on 2 occasions. And like he couldn't turn the double play fast enough and the runner beat it out.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about that, like there's definitely justification there to put him on the IL, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And if they do that, there you go. Bring up Marcelo. And
Mm-hmm.
then, we just got to find spot for Roman Anthony. We know Zidane can play infield. That's not like where he's really beneficial, but if you rotate him around and you give him, give the outfield guys like one day off a week, and then Rafaela plays second base once a week, then that gets him in the lineup most days. It's not the end of the world.
No, no, it's not the end of the world. Um,
I think
I,
there's a world where we see Monday,
yeah,
Roman Anthony in left, Duran in center, Abreu in right. Then we have
I mean that would
Tuesday.
be
You give Roman the day off, and you have Duran in left, Rafaela in center, Abreu in right, and then Wednesday you have Anthony back in left, Rafaela in center, Abreu in right, Duran is the day off, and then the next day Roman Anthony's in right, Duran's in left, Rafael's in center, Abreu has the day off. Like there's a rotation here that you could do it. It would cause some inconsistencies, but probably have the best lineup possible out there.
yeah, yeah. It's it's definitely intriguing. Sorry, I'm lost in thought because the idea of Roman being up there and the variations you could do with that outfield is just it's really fucking cool. And like I said, if Roman's going to be up here, or even Marcelo for that fact, they need to be playing almost pretty much every day. It's you don't call those guys up to be like, well, you're only playing 50% of the time or whatever. Like, no, those kids are going to need reps pretty much every single day.
Yeah.
But the lineup manipulation that you could do with both Roman and Marcelo is it makes things really interesting. It all of a sudden makes this team, this lineup, because I'm thinking where you could fit Roman in the lineup right now, and then obviously Marcelo as well. The way that Roman bats the ball and the way that Marcelo's been tearing the cover off the ball, there's so much more flexibility you could do with the lineup. Yeah, that would be a lot of freaking fun, man. That would be a lot of fun.
It just feels like the key is Romy Gonzalez back so we can get rid of Abraham Toro. And then Campbell plays first base. And then
Yeah,
Nick Sogard is back down. And then
yeah,
you have Campbell and Romy as your first baseman.
yeah.
Campbell and Hamilton as your second baseman.
Second baseman.
Or Campbell and Marcelo. And then you have
Hmm.
Marcelo and Story as your shortstop. And then third base, you have Marcelo and Bregman, but it's going to be Bregman. And then Ref Snyder's still on the team, so that in that scenario, David Hamilton goes down,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
David Hamilton would have to go
Well,
down.
no. Oh yeah,
Well,
because you're replacing
yeah, yeah.
because you're adding your Toro is a swap out for Romy.
For Roman,
Marcelo is a swap out for
for Hamilton.
Hamilton, and then Sogard is the swap out for Anthony.
Yes, it can happen.
All
It can
right.
happen.
Well, the good news is we're playing a absolute garbage Orioles team. I never
Yes,
thought I'd be
horrible.
saying.
Yeah, no, not with this roster. I mean, starting pitching is their starting pitching is awful, but the lineup is.
Dude, Charlie Morton is who we're facing in game 2.
Hmm.
He's 0-7
Holy
with
shit!
a 7.68 ERA.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we can't
I
win
hope we can
against
win that
Charlie
one.
Morton, I hope so.
Oh, we win that
Oh,
one.
yeah. Yeah. So good news is we don't gotta wait too long because it's a 4-gamer. It's a four
Man,
gamer.
4-gamer.
So the rotation looks like Giolito tomorrow, Bayo
Uh,
Friday, Dobbins Saturday, Walker Buehler on Sunday. And for the Orioles, it's Cade Povich, Charlie Morton, Zach Eflin, and Dean Creamer.
so it'd be Eflin and Dobbins.
Yeah, Eflin Dobbins. That's the best matchup,
Yeah.
marquee versus marquee, I guess, that you're going to get, which is funny. I put out a tweet that got some traction this week, which was here's the list of starting pitchers I currently trust: Garrett Crochet and Hunter Dobbins. I said, that's it. That's the end of the list.
That's it. That's
And
the end of the list.
apparently, a lot of people agree. I had one guy say, you're not going to feel that way after Hunter Dobbins gets lit up tomorrow. And then I quote tweeted it and said, nope, still feel that way. Nothing changed
Yeah.
because he did
Oh,
not
yeah.
get lit up. But I think, like, basically, this is a 3 out of 4, if I'm being honest, in this series. I would say a sweep, but they're going to find some unique way to lose at least one of these games, just the way it's going to go. But the Orioles are absolutely horrible. They fired their manager. Vibes are low. They're
Yeah.
16-30. What's their
Yeah.
record here? Let me see.
They're not.
Somehow they're
They are
worse
not
than
a good
us.
baseball team.
I'll pull it up here. But yeah, what's your prediction? You think?
Yeah, we're going sweep. We're
Oh,
going sweep. We're gonna
should have
hit
seen
one.
that.
We're gonna hit one.
We're
We're gonna hit
we're
one.
bound
We're
to,
gonna hit
right?
a 4-gamer, 4-bagger.
Yeah, I nailed it. 16-32. Disgusting.
16. Yeah, they're a bad baseball team.
They have a
A bad
333 winning
baseball team.
percentage.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we got some more positive news to talk about next time we get together. And it's kind of funny that we feel
Absolutely.
like this because this is a freaking series victory.
And it's a
And we're
good
over
one
here
too.
like it
It's a
was
good team.
a good one, and we're over here like negative, negative, negative Nancy. So I'm sorry to everyone that's listening to this expecting a positive pod after a series win. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
And it's
Just
so
so much
funny because
drama.
we had back-to-back series wins, right? With one of them being Kansas City, and then we had the Raffy drama, and we were just kind of like, fuck, you know, like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
So let's have a series win where we can come back with positive energy and talk about how fun it was to sweep the Orioles because they suck and keep it moving.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to be back to recording. We're recording Wednesday today. And I think that next week we record on a Thursday, but I think that's the last Thursday for like the rest of the
For
summer.
the rest of the summer. Yeah.
Let me double check that real quick. Fun fact as well. We have a bonus episode dropping this week. Actually, this is going to be 2 bonus episodes this week because Hunter dropped some interviews earlier this week too. Hunter from our minor league show, he got to interview and record with Blaze Jordan and Jeremy. I almost said We Hunt, but I know that's not it. It's Jeremy Llewellyn or something like
Mhm.
that. I can't remember exactly what his last name is, but one of the couple of the players with the Sea Dogs. So that was cool. Put that out, and then we're dropping a special interview this weekend with one of the Red Sox ball attendants. His name is Luis. Very, very cool. Been around for a long time. Really recommend that you listen to that interview. He's super well spoken. Great communicator. Luis Vasquez is his name. And I got a chance to do that interview with a special guest on that as well. Really, really cool. If you're someone that likes to know just like details about what people that work for the Red Sox do, like behind the scenes stuff, listen to that interview. There's a lot of laughs in there, some great stories, and You'll really enjoy it. So um, that's my final thoughts and my little plug there. You got any final thoughts, Kevin?
Socks, baby. Socks.
Friggin' socks. Friggin' socks. All right. Well, on behalf of the Pesky Report brought to you by Beyond the Monster, my name is Matthew. We've got Kevin. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you guys next time. Have a great weekend and enjoy our bonus episode this weekend as well. Go Sox.